What's happening? Can't find them. Facebook make it really, really difficult to find the video content. Like, unless I put each individual video in an album, and just if I upload it just to the page, it's like it doesn't, no one can find it or something. Maybe I should be uploading them directly to an album called TikTok Lives. Maybe that's what I should be doing each time rather than just uploading them to the page. Maybe that's what the mistake I've made. Hi, Loz, please give an example of dominant thoughts, for example, money. How would people reflect back that dominant thought? What about money? Okay, so if you feel like you're always poor, then you won't get offered a raise, you won't get very good pay. If you feel like money slips through your fingers all the time, you're constantly getting bills, you'll get more bills. If you feel like people aren't generous with you, when you go out for dinner, you'll sit there and everyone will try and split the bill down to the last dollar, right? But if you're in a lack mindset, that will constantly happen. But if you're in an abundant mindset of like money always comes to me, people are so generous to me, everything works out with me money-wise, then you'll get a raise and you'll get people paying for things for you and you won't feel like you're constantly going to run out of money. It's just a different way of feeling about money, thinking about money, being about money, and your whole environment will reflect that. Morning, Loz. Been a while. Oh, John Johnson, how are you, darling? Hi, Maria. Hi, Loz. I ran in the rain to get to your live. In the rain? Oh, my God, darling. Jesus, that's commitment. Cheers to you, darling, running in the rain. So does that make sense, Nautica? So just like you're thinking about men, you're thinking about relationships, you're thinking about your relationship with money also reflects back. If you have broke-ass thoughts, you'll go to the supermarket and you look for the specials. If you have broke-ass thoughts, you'll think work will never, you'll never go past the pay grade you're at, and you won't. Morning, Loz, yes. Self-concept affirmations to stop hot and cold behavior from SP. It's you're thinking about the way you think they feel about you, and you're thinking about you. So if you don't feel lovable, if you don't feel good enough, you won't think he'll think you're good enough. You won't think he loves you. Because if your self-concept is linked to that thought you have about him, he doesn't love me, oh, because I'm not lovable. He looks at other girls because I'm not good enough for him. I'm not enough. My body isn't enough. You got to link what your self-concept shit is based on what you think about him. The easiest way to do it to discover your self-concept is write down all the hot and cold thoughts you're having. Oh, he loves me. He doesn't love me. He looks at other girls. No, I'm the only one he wants. Write down all the thoughts you have, especially the negative ones, and you'll see where your self-concept is tied up in that. Got it? Loz, what do you think about dating advice? And do you have any good tips? I don't think a lot of dating advice is any good, guys. There's that dickhead, what's his name? He's a guy, and he used to be on like E programs, and he's British, and he's an absolute dick. And I had friends of mine who went to his seminars in England, and he gave the worst advice. It was all in masculine energy advice. What's his name? Anyway, don't listen to him, whatever his name is. Most of the dating advice stuff is about putting yourself out there, and then if they're not good to you, next. Thank you, next. And it's not about taking responsibility for your own self-concept. Some of them are really good about feminine energy, but most of them aren't. I think I have more practicality in the reality. What's this, Gino? Hey, Loz, my counsellor told me he is thinking positive is good, but is more of having false hope. A lot of people don't understand the difference between false hope and being positive, okay? It's not false hope. Matthew Hussey, that's his name. Please don't watch him. He's an absolute cock. I think more practically in the reality. No, you don't have to think more practically. Your counsellor is a moron. Don't listen to them. Anyone talking about practicality or being realistic is an idiot. You don't have to be realistic, darling. Manifesting isn't about realism. If anyone's telling you to be more realistic and give up hope, they're an idiot. Stop listening to them and don't discuss this with them. Absolutely don't discuss it because they're not on the same page as us. They don't understand it. It's like talking to my brother. My brother will go, oh, that's stupid to think that way. And I'll be like, I'm manifesting things all day long for you, and you don't even realise I'm doing it. And I'm not being realistic about your situation, but I'm doing it for you. You're not even realising. I don't tell him that. But when people say be realistic, be wary. Don't tell them anything about what you're doing. How come I can't visualise? I don't know, darling. Maybe you've got aphantasia where you can't see things in your mind. Don't worry about it. Just imagine the smell or the hearing. Imagine someone telling you something. You hear them say something on the phone, the telephone technique, or just affirm. I'm currently missing him. What do I affirm? That's all right, guys. You can miss them, but just affirm that every time I miss him, he misses me 10 times more. He's imagining his arms wrapped around me. He longs for me every night. And then imagine you're together when you've got all those feelings out of your body. Then start imagining he is there already. You are together in your mind. Yeah, Matthew Hussey's such a dick. Honestly, he put one of my friends in such masculine energy, and she used to go and approach guys at bars, and I used to see these guys instantly rejecting her, and she'd come back and she'd be like, oh, that guy didn't want my number, and I'd be like, I felt like going, what are you doing? And she'd been to one of his seminars, and he was like, approach the guy, be confident, la 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 la. And I was like, this girl's psychology was already messed up, and then she was listening to that dickhead, and I was just like, this is not working for you, love. You're already a masculine energy already, and now you're making it 10 times worse by listening to this idiot. I'm currently, hang on. Hi, Loz. Oh, I saw that one. Loz, SP randomly proposed. What? What? Ginger Sphere's phone? So, Loz, SP randomly proposed after saying he didn't want to get married. I've been affirming for this. Oh, my God. Oh, how did I miss that comment? Oh, my God. Congratulations, darling. Randomly proposed after saying he didn't want to get married. Ah, and I whined over this one. Hooray, darling. Hooray. Ginger Speraphone. Oh, Persephone. Oh, Ginger Persephone. I've read your name wrong. That's wonderful, darling. That's great. Love it. I was thinking that today when I saw a hussy talk. Oh, look, just press not interested if you see him pop up on your TikTok, guys. Oh, my God, he's such an idiot. How he's got by as a dating coach is just beyond me. He's so bad. So bad. I met someone new recently, and I think I want to move on from old SP and manifest new. Yes, do that, guys. Guys, if you find someone new and they're turning up the way you want, move on to that new person. And if you're self-concept's on point, they'll be everything you want. Trust me. Imagine those thoughts catching fire and replace them with positive thoughts. Yes, John, what are you talking about? Hang on. What did she say? What advice do you have for vegan kids in lockdown doing it tough? I don't know if that's a real question, darling. How do you stop the negative thoughts when manifesting your SP coming back? Just what John just said. Set fire to those fucking thoughts. That's a wonderful way to look at it. Just get rid of them, darling. Affirm against them with a new positive thought. Just banish them completely. Don't let them in. You've got to be vigilant with your mind, guys. You've got to be guard at the gate. Don't let them in. Replace them with positive thought. Yes. Having exes coming back is very common, but what if you want to date a friends with benefits? Well, do that, guys. If you really want a friends with benefits and you don't want a relationship out of it, go ahead. I don't say not to do that. But I know a lot of the time, if you do that, it's because you don't feel good enough, and then you'll just take crumbs. I don't want you to take crumbs if that's not what you want. But if all you want is sex from the person, go and do it. Do we have to visualize to manifest? What are other options? The other options is affirming. The other options is telephone technique, imagining something you're hearing, okay? Yes, thanks, Oz. I start to see things change. I see weddings and loving relationship working my subconcept. Wonderful, Nautica. Can you make more guided meditation / affirmations or telephone technique? Yes, I will. I'm going to do them on my YouTube, I promise. When I launch YouTube. I was doing the banners today for the thumbnails. Is it normal to be mad at your SP? I do self-concept and I know I deserve better, but I want him to be better. Maria, I'm sorry. Have you watched me before? It's not normal to be mad at your SP when you've been watching me a while because you realise you're getting mad at yourself. You may as well go stand in the mirror and go and get mad at your own reflection and yell at yourself. Listen, Maria, you fuckwit, you've done this to yourself. Why are you getting mad at him? You got to get mad at yourself because you're the one who's having the thinking that he's reflecting back to you. It's all you. Maria, he's only reflecting you. If he's doing shit that you don't like, it's because you've got a really bad story about him. You're holding old thoughts about him that aren't favourable to you. You've got an old story about you being loved and not wanted by him. Get rid of that shit. They're only reflecting you, and until you get rid of that shit, he won't change. You can be mad at him all you like, and he'll probably just leave. Please go and watch my videos in the Facebook group. You're lost as hell. I mean that with love. Go and watch number 25, and then number 41 especially. Get rid of that old story about him, because if you yell and scream at him and get mad at him, well, good luck to you. Loz, SP came back hot, but now won't make time for us. What to do? Probably because when he came back all hot, darling, you had thoughts like, oh my God, this is too good to be true. I can't believe this has worked. Oh my God, what Loz says worked. Oh, what if it doesn't work? What if he starts drifting away? Or what if he goes cold again? And then he did. What were you thinking? Stop thinking all that shit. Thank you. I need you to yell at me. Good. 25 and 41, the magic numbers. I can't think of any other numbers. That's why I keep saying those ones. Look, guys, pretty much any live I talk about self-concept. Put self-concept in or old story in and watch any videos about that. When I do the YouTube, I promise to have a lot more really in-depth videos that go for a really long time about one subject. And I will do them based on the questions in the Q&A forum. So guys, as we go along, I'm going to start pulling out Q&A forum questions to answer in a theme. So say it's about hot and cold behavior. I'll answer a few questions that are akin to that theme and do a video just specifically on that. Or say about being ghosted and specifically on that. I wish I watched you during those months that he's trying to come back. Look, guys, don't worry about it. Just because you didn't discover all this before, don't beat yourself up. Just imagine it all now. Imagine it together now. You can get them back. It's not a problem. Loz, what's the challenge going to be this week, please? I think it's going to be fuck the 3D. Fuck the 3D, which means not reacting to the 3D circumstances at all, ever, for the next 21 days. Do not react. Do not do anything in the 3D. Imagine everything in your mind is going to go well. The end. Fuck the 3D challenge. Can you affirm for someone to not be pregnant? Yes, you can, darling. You imagine it was a mistake. You can imagine they don't want the pregnancy, however you want that to be. However you want it to work out, darling. But think lovingly for people. Don't wish abortions on people or miscarriages on people. Just imagine maybe it was a mistake. Love that challenge. Good. Affirm, I find my stolen iPad. Yes. Imagine it back in your hand, darling. Imagine, oh my God, thank God I've got my iPad. Oh, I thought I'd lost it. I thought it had been stolen. I can't believe someone stole it from me. I can't believe I got it back. How amazing. Just imagine in your hand, imagine someone handing it to you and you're being relieved. Imagine ringing someone, telling the story about how you got it back or that you've got it back, not how that you've got it back. Living in my mind is the best. I had the most amazing date with SP in my mind last night. I know it's going to be show up in the 3D. Well, wonderful, darling. See, that's how to fuck the 3D. You just live in your mind, darling. I love it. Hello, I saw SP's surname twice in the last week. Giving good meaning. Yes, do, darling. How do you affirm for someone else? You said you affirm for your brother. Yeah, so I affirm for other people all the time. So say for my brother, I'll do things like this situation is going to work out for him and I might script it. Like they tell him, you don't have to pay this bill. He gets out of this situation easily, whichever the situation is. Okay, I just write it down or I think it. I imagine him telling me the situation. There's two situations that have happened with him, big situations, where I've imagined a conversation where he tells me, oh, it's all sorted out, or I've done this thing now. And I've been like, each time been like, oh, is that so? But it's like almost word for word what I thought he would say to me, what I imagined in my mind would happen for him because I wanted that situation to be sorted out. That's how I do it. How can you affirm being more productive? I get everything done. When I have a to-do list, I tick off everything I need doing in the day. I am so productive. I never procrastinate. I get everything done. I'm so motivated. So those things done. SP is back and we're exclusive. Oh, I know my self-concept did this. So what should I do to make sure I don't fuck it up? Darling, don't assume you're going to fuck it up. So many of you get them back on here, okay? And then you start saying, what do I do so I don't fuck it up? Stop assuming you're going to fuck it up. I want you to assume this and only this. They're back because they love me. They're here because they love me. That's it. Then do not, and I repeat, do not react to if any of the old version of them shows up, any of the old them shows and rears their ugly head. Do not react. Just respond. Think before you speak. Think before you act. Think before you react. Okay? And affirm while they're there. Affirm still. Keep working on your self-concept. Don't let it slip. Don't get lazy. And don't assume it's going to go wrong. Right? What's this simply, Sammy? Hang on. Let me find the beginning. Out with a friend and they said SP likes and went home with a girl is just my 3D, but kept affirming and then hung out last night after he called me 4 times so I know it's me. Oh, you're the girl he likes. What? Darling, is that what you mean? He rung you 4 times? Don't listen to what your friends say. I'll just put you off. Loz, my SP is situationship, but he's seeing other people. How do I get him to ask me to be his girlfriend? He wants me and only me. He can't imagine being with anybody but me. Everyone else disgusts him. When he spends time with other girls, he realises they're not me. He just wants me. He only wants me. He only has eyes for me. So those things. Hello, Loz. You mentioned 3D is delayed with regards to negative thoughts reflecting back. It's delayed with any thoughts reflecting back. Okay? So your thoughts don't manifest immediately in front of your eyes. I mean, they manifest immediately as soon as you thought of it, but not in front of your eyes. Sometimes they can if you've had no resistant thought to them whatsoever, no opposing thoughts. It's just something small. Like, I'm going to get a free coffee, and the next minute someone goes, someone want this Starbucks? It hasn't been collected. And you're like, oh my God, I just did that. Okay? But things that you have a lot of old story about might take a lot longer. Okay? Or it's just delayed in terms of if everything that you thought of turned up straight away, the world would be a very chaotic place. It has to really sink into your mind and become a belief or be thought a lot for it to manifest. Okay, so you've got to wait until it turns up and not get impatient in the meantime and not look at the 3D for validation of it coming when it hasn't come yet. You've just got to imagine it's here already. Okay. Loz, what's the best way to change deep-rooted negative thoughts? Affirmations? Yes, affirmations, visualization, just stepping into the state of being the new you, fighting any opposing thoughts, fighting any opposing images in your mind, fighting any old story in your mind. You've got to be vigilant, guys, against your old thinking. Do you have to wait for them to contact you if you have no contact, or can you contact first? Guys, I can't tell you what to do in these kind of situations, but I will say this. If you're asking me the question, the answer is probably no, don't contact them yet until you feel confident, because you're asking me. If you felt confident about contacting them, you would simply just contact them and feel good about it and feel confident about it, right? Come from a place of confidence if you're going to do it. Come from a place of knowing that you know they'll be thrilled to hear from you, okay, or thrilled to see you. Okay, but if you can't feel that way, I would avoid doing that until you know you can feel like that. And also affirm for them contacting you. Imagine they're coming towards you. Affirm that they're constantly contacting you, constantly coming towards you. They need to see you. They need to hear your voice. Sasha's video says not to focus on SP because then he will focus on himself. So is living in the end being too much? No. She's just repeating what I say as well. Focus on yourself, your self-concept, not focusing too much on them obsessively. Okay, she's basically saying living in the end with them in your mind, but also focus on your self-concept and focus on you. Don't be obsessive about it. That's what she's saying, which I say a lot. I always do affirmations before bed, but never end up dreaming about SP ever. Don't worry about it if you don't dream about them, guys. I don't remember any of my dreams. Doesn't matter. Hello, good morning. Oh, my ex wants to come back after a break. Thoughts? Well, if you want them back, take them back, darling. And imagine they're the whole new revised version of them. And everything's going to work out. How do you know your affirmations are effective? Because they'll reflect back in the 3D. People will start saying your affirmations to you. If your affirmation is, I am so beautiful, people say, you look so beautiful today. Oh, that's a beautiful dress you're wearing, whatever. And they'll say the word beautiful and you'll be like, oh my God, this is happening a lot with random strangers and friends and stuff. What's happening? It's your affirmation being reflected back. People start treating you differently. But especially when you actually hear the word, especially a very specific word, you'll be like, whoa. This is working. Is it normal to feel exhausted when manifesting from SP? No, darling, you're doing it wrong. If you're doing it the LOA way, where you're trying to emote and feel a feeling, that's probably why you're feeling exhausted, because you've been listening to some fuckwits. I don't want you to feel exhausted. I just want you to affirm. Affirming is saying something with some authority as if it's true. John loves me so much. We're so blissfully, happily married. Not, I love John. I feel so happy I'm with John. I'm ecstatic I'm with John. I'm so happy. That'll exhaust the fuck out of you. Please don't do any of that shit. Or you're doing it obsessively all fucking day because you're so scared he won't come back. Don't do that either. Please go and watch my videos in the face. That exhausted me just doing that. Then I'm giving myself a headache. That's how LOA teaches you to affirm. Please don't do it that way. Can you explain birds for land? It's simply your self-concept reflecting out so much so that it affects other people and they start reflecting back to you your new self-concept of being beautiful, wanted, admired, etc. Strangers, old boyfriends, etc. will come out of the woodwork and start giving you attention, being great to you, treating you beautifully, and that means SP is next. It's working on them, so it's working on him or her too. What's this, Amber? Of your teachings, I knew to give it different meaning. Oh, what are we talking about? What'd you say? Sometimes I think wanting to watch your live suggests I'm in a state of lack, but because of your teachings, I knew to give it a different meaning. Yes. Look, guys, you can think, every time I watch these videos, I guess it means I haven't learnt enough and I'm watching more. But look, if sometimes I'm in my car and I'm not affirming, but I'm driving a long distance, I will put my watch later on, or my suggestions on my YouTube, and I'll watch YouTube sometimes. I haven't watched any for weeks, but I'm constantly learning. We're constantly learning, guys. Just because you watch the lives, you ask a question, doesn't mean you're not sorted. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing, okay? It doesn't mean you're in a state of lack. But if you're constantly watching video after video and sitting on my lives and not affirming out in the 3D, not doing the work, then that's when I'd question what you're doing. That means I just need to know more, but you're not actually doing anything about it. That's the problem that people sometimes do. Does checking social media delay contact? Well, darling, if you're doing it from a place of needing to check to see if they're with a third party, if they're looking at your pictures, if they're posting anything that might look like it's for you, then yes, please fucking don't do that, because that's saying, he's not here yet, I just need to check. What are you checking for? If you're married, would you be checking? You'd be seeing him that night, wouldn't you? Making him dinner. Seeing him at 6 o'clock when he gets home from work. Would you be checking on his social media if you're married? You wouldn't be doing anything of the sort. In fact, you might not even be on his social media. I have married friends who aren't even following each other on Facebook. I wouldn't date other people if I'm married. However, I don't think it's okay to stop my life. Yes, guys, don't stop your life. Go and date others if you really want to. I don't like a text from my SP. Do I ignore it completely, or is there a way to respond? It's up to you guys. I can't tell you how to respond, but tell you what. If you don't like the text, imagine it's a completely different text and just write something random that's got nothing to do with that text. Just ignore the text completely if you want to. A non sequitur, like, how's the weather today? Or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't have to acknowledge bad meaning. Don't give it bad meaning, but also don't even acknowledge it if you don't want to, and confuse the fuck out of the dude. And he'll just be like, what? You can do that, guys. Or just ignore it and don't reply. It's up to you how you do it. But don't give it bad meaning. Just be like, well, the old him's showing up still. Jesus Christ, I mustn't have changed my mind enough about him yet, because look at this shit. That's me. That's my thoughts in a text. Oh, well, I'm not going to get affected by it or get narky or react or respond in a narky way. I'm just going to respond in a nice way or a loving way or a random way, or don't respond at all. But you've got to understand that's your old thoughts manifest in a text. As long as you get that, you won't be affected by it. Like, wow, he's still showing up as the old him. I guess I haven't worked on this enough. I don't want to be friends with one of my friends. She started using behaviour about my assumption I am okay with it. What a naughty girl? Well, don't be friends with her if you don't want to be friends with her, darling. Each other and was upset, then thought it maybe that's my old thoughts during him purging out. What's this, Priscilla? Hang on, whoa. It's so annoying when it's all broken up, guys. Sorry. Where's the rest of that? Sorry, Loz, I'm taken. Oh, John. I know you are. Priscilla, just found out today, after 2 months no contact, that SP was talking to girls during us seeing each other. Oh, okay, Priscilla, that's no good. Okay, where's the rest of it? Each other was upset, then thought maybe that's my old thoughts during him purging out. Look, when you were together, you probably had thoughts that other girls were competition, that other girls were prettier than you, had better bodies than you, that he was a player. What thoughts did you have when you were together? That's why that happened. So now change all those thoughts about him, change the thoughts about you. Imagine you are good enough. Your body is beautiful. He thinks you're the sexiest, most gorgeous woman alive, and you are the sexiest, most gorgeous woman alive, regardless of what the fuck he thinks, and then things will change. And forget the past, okay? If I don't, I saw that one. I wouldn't, hang on, well, reached out the next day. What's this, abs? Where's the rest of this? SP's friend asked me to meet him. I said no. I felt SP would be jealous if, though he didn't know, he reached out the next day. Oh, he reached out the next day. Love it. How to get SP to commit instead of being a Facebook live in country, but from my town? Being a Facebook live in a different country, but from my town? I don't understand that. If you want them to commit to you, darling, just imagine you are together. Imagine your boyfriend and girlfriend. Imagine you live together in the same place. If a distance is the problem, stop seeing it as the problem and see you and them together in your mind. I don't understand the rest of that question, though. It's hard to understand. Sorry, guys. Hang on. I'm pressing weird things and things are popping up. I'm not getting the messages at the bottom of the page. I watch the lives because it makes me feel positive. Good, darling. I love a lady in glasses. Oh, thanks, Charles. One time, SP texted a text that matches old story and I just started laughing. Oh, good. Yeah, just laugh at it. Just be like, well, that's the old him showing up. How about that? Meant fuck buddy, not fuck. Oh, okay. He was trying to be fuck buddies. Well, if you don't want to be fuck buddies, darling, work on your self-concept, because that's how fuck buddies, friends with benefits turn up. Okay? Because you don't feel good enough in yourself and then they'll treat you that way. So it's okay then if I want new friends moving forward. Yes, guys, look, if some people aren't into manifesting and you discuss it with them and they think you're a nut, don't discuss it with them anymore or get new friends. Hey, Loz, how would you revise getting ghosted by SP? Just imagine they're constantly calling and texting you, and work on that self-concept stuff where you feel abandoned or you feel like you're going to get rejected. No one would dare leave me. I'm too important to lose. Look at me. I'm so this and so that and so da-da-da. Sending positive energy from the Netherlands. Oh, thank you so much. Affirmations for someone who is hot and cold all the time, please. It's not anything to do with the person, darling. It's to do with you. What are your hot and cold thoughts, Nikita? What are you thinking? He likes me, he doesn't like me, he's looking at other girls. Oh no, he's coming towards me, he's constantly texting me. Oh, why is it me on red? Oh no, but he does like me because the other day, who's that girl on his Instagram? You doing that? That's why. Stop doing that and then he'll change. Got nothing to do with him. It's your thinking that's hot and cold. It's reflected to them and they reflect it back being hot and cold. Loz, how to deal with feelings of loneliness and missing SP, please. Look, guys, it's a really hard concept to get your head around that no one is separate from you. But if you can really, truly use your imagination, like a child does. Think about when children are really little and they're imagining they're a superhero or they're Elsa or whatever. They truly believe they are and you can't convince them otherwise. Or they'll give you a banana and they'll say, have a bite of this, and it's imaginary, and a little baby will hand it to you and you'll be like, and they'll say, is it nice? You're like, oh, delicious. And they're pretending, they're giving it to you. And they truly believe they've handed you a piece of cake or a banana. And they expect you to bite into it and chew and tell them how it tastes. Have you ever had a kid do that? They really are using their imagination. They really think they've given you a cup of tea from their teapot that's boiling hot. Oh, careful, it's hot. Sip it. They'll do that. And you'll be like, oh, yes. You know how you do that with little kids? Their imagination is so vivid that they believe that it's true, that's a hot cup of tea. You can't convince them otherwise. I want you guys to be that vivid with your imagination that when you're lonely, you can imagine lying in bed and you can imagine your SP's arm around you spooning you. You can imagine the feel of their skin on your skin. You can smell their smell. You can hear their voice in your ear saying, babe, I missed you so much. I was so lonely without you. Do that, guys. Be as little children. That's what it says in the Bible. That's what that means. Be as little children. Little children can imagine instantly, and you can't convince them otherwise. When you guys are really in your true imaginative act of really imagining it's true, nothing can stop you from thinking that that's real, and you might feel tears coming in your eyes because you can feel your SP's arms around you. Get to that point and you won't feel lonely anymore, I promise. And you've got to understand that when you're doing that, there is no separation. And they will feel it too. Just imagine that that's true, and it will be. Okay? I really want you to be as little children. Use your imagination just like little children do. Go back to being like that. That's what that means in the Bible. Okay? And I know I use the Bible a lot because what Neville teaches, but that's what that means. Be that vivid with your imagination, guys. If you miss them, imagine they're there. If you miss them, imagine their smell, imagine their voice. Imagine. That's the point of this. And then when you're visualizing that and you're really feeling as if it's true, it has no choice but to come about. And in a couple of months' time or a week's time or a year's time, you will be in that scene with that SP's arms around you and you'll think, oh my God, I imagined this. This is just how I imagined it. Right? That's how this works. Got it? How can I get over my ex when they were the world to me and I meant nothing to her? Okay. Dandafulukulu. If you believe that you meant nothing to her, that's why you meant nothing to her. Something's happening with your self-concept where you don't feel good enough in yourself, darling, and you put her on such a pedestal and you made her your whole world and you gave to her and she took because you put her on such a pedestal that she actually had no choice but to look down on you because you didn't feel good enough in yourself and you admired her and loved her so much. I'm not saying loving someone's bad, but when you love them more than yourself and you put them on such a pedestal that they look down on you, they have no choice but to look down on you because that's the position you put yourself in. And then you have beliefs that I didn't mean anything to her and therefore she has no choice but to reflect that back to you. I want you to banish that story. Of course I meant so much to her. I gave her so much love. She's never felt love from a man like I gave to her. She's reflecting back now on that and she can't believe she's lost me. She's kicking herself. The love I gave her was perfect and she misses me. And then imagine you and her together and in that situation you're up on the pedestal and she's way down here admiring you. Switcheroo that dynamic you had, darling, and everything will change. That dynamic you had was wrong. That's why you felt that way. You've got to work on your self-concept. Build yourself up so when she comes back, you're up here. She's down here. King energy. Got it? How would I know if my subconscious has changed? Because everyone around you will change. They'll start treating you well. Your SP will come back. You'll make more money. Your life will be great. That's how it works. What if I feel like I have so much in mind and unable to affirm? Unable to affirm? So much on your mind? Well, just concentrate on a few things, darling. Don't overdo it. Do you think it's all right to date, or should we live from the end, marriage, and not date? Guys, you can date. It won't make any difference. Loz, I love you. Got to go now. Sorry. Oh, don't worry, Maxine. The gaming on Discord has gotten a million times worse. Haven't heard from my boyfriend in a week. Oh, no, Shamari. Well, did you go back to thinking he might be neglecting you? Did you go back to thinking he cared more about gaming? Well, that's why. Stop thinking that. You did it for a day, and then you obviously threw the thinking that I gave you out with the bathwater. You threw it away, and you haven't been thinking the way I told you to when you watched a movie together, and now you've just gone back to square one. Work on your self-concept, darling. Why do you feel neglected? Why do you feel abandoned? Work those things out. It's something to do with your childhood. It's got fucking nothing to do with Discord. You don't feel chosen, so he's choosing Discord. You feel neglected, so he neglects you. You feel abandoned, so he abandoned you for Discord. It's got nothing to do with fucking Discord. It's got to do with your childhood. Work it out. Will SP think you're weird for showing up differently? They won't know any different, darling. All they know is what you present to them. They don't imagine the old you. All they see is the new you. They don't even know the old you. They don't remember the old you. Trust me. When you turn up different, they're just in awe of you and in love with you, and they can't remember the old you, especially if you revised it. They can't remember. Sometimes they can't even remember what happened in the breakup. You'll discuss it and they'll be like, that's not what happened. And you'll be like, oh, isn't it? Okay, well, okay, I'm not going to go back to that story where I was a needy bitch. Don't discuss it. Oh, hello, thanks for the roses, darling. Will SP think, oh, no, thank you. I feel terrible and even more lonely being on dating apps, signed to get off. Well, then don't be on them, guys. God damn it. Hey, Kat. How can I get over my ex when they were the world to me and meant nothing to her? I told you the answer. I just read it again by accident. You get me, darling? Thank you. You're the best, Loz. Good, darling. Hang on, I missed a lot of questions when I was crapping on. Can you give me ideas of little test manifestations to practice and get confident doing it? Getting free coffee, getting someone to say something, do something, wear something. This week, someone will say divine to me. Someone will say flibbity gibbet. Someone will say booyah, a strange word. Okay? I'm going to see someone in pink polka dots. I'm going to see a purple car. Things like that. And then when they come about, tick, I did that. Tick, I did that. Doesn't have to come about this week. It can just be any time. Mm-hmm. Hi, Loz. You look beautiful today. Oh, thank you, darling. Can you also revise having graduated with a grade you didn't want 2 years ago to the one you want? Yes, darling. Imagine it was a mistake. And imagine the next time you look at the piece of paper, it's revised. Just like Back to the Future. The person has been rubbed out in the photo. Okay? My SP says he wants me, but if I gain respect for myself, what does this mean? What are you talking about? He'll want you even more if you gain respect for yourself, darling. You mean he'll want you if you gain respect for yourself? Well, it means he thinks you don't have any self-respect and you have to work on your self-concept. Do that. If he's reflecting that back to you and he's saying you need to respect yourself because you're acting like an needy bitch and he's saying stop being like that. And they're reflecting back bad thoughts you have about you out of his mouth. Is that what you mean? Don't understand the question. I got a free outdoor setting today that I've been waiting for years. Did you, Nat? Love it. Loz, is the reason manifestation works because our thinking changes our own behaviour? Yes, guys, it's just your thinking being manifested constantly out in your 3D reality. Your 3D reality is a manifestation of your subconscious thoughts. It's simply how the world works. Tarot reader said he won't reach out. How to change my mind, Loz. Stop fucking watching the tarot for a start. Guys, if you're watching tarot and it's not the story you want, I want you to literally press not interested or flick right past that for you page. That on your for you page, okay? Because it's going to affect you and then you're going to come in here and ask me questions. I don't want you watching tarot or going to tarot readers, guys, if they're not telling you what you want to hear. That means you still haven't changed your mind, okay? So, if you've got this thought that he won't reach out, it's because you've got thoughts of, he's upset with me, he feels guilty for what he did, he thinks I won't respond, he's afraid I'll reject him. Whatever the story is the tarot reader's saying, and they say all those things, that's your thinking. So you've got to change that thinking. Of course he wants to hear from me. Of course he's going to reach out to me. He's coming towards me. It's been hell without me. Think the opposite of everything you're seeing on that tarot and everything that's the opposite of him not reaching out. Mm-hmm. How do I manifest my friends or mum to let us do something? We only have 1 week to convince her. Just imagine doing it already. Imagine you've done it already, you and your friend. And then you didn't have to convince her, did you? It just came about. Don't worry about how. Worry about we've done it already. Imagine a scene where you've done whatever this thing is. You've gone on the holiday together. You went to Coachella. You did the thing. You know Coachella's now, but you know what I mean. How to affirm unemployment. What do you mean? You want to be unemployed? Say, I love being unemployed. I love having so much freedom. I love having money coming in, but not having to work for it. Say that, darling, if that's what you mean. How do I make my parents regret being shitty to me? Well, that sounds a bit nasty, darling. I don't want you to do that. Why don't you just change your parents not being shitty to parents who were great to you? How about that? Because that's golden rule, darling. If you want people to regret things, you've got to understand that you caused it. Unless it's something really early on that happened in childhood, which was really, really neglectful and your parents were shit, well, that's different. But if it's recent stuff, it's something to do with your childhood where you're still holding the belief that your parents are shitty parents and therefore they'll never change until you change that story about them being shitty. Okay, you really need to start saying, my parents are so beautiful to me. They love me unconditionally. They do what I want to do. They're so beautiful to me. They treat me so beautifully. Start saying that about your parents and they'll change. But just wanting to regret it, that sounds like sadistic shit that's not going to change anything in your reality other than you hurt your parents' feelings, they feel guilty, and nothing's changed for you. How does that change for you? Don't you want parents that aren't shitty? I'd manifest that instead, personally. Holding on to resentment, guys, isn't the way forward. It'll only reverberate back to you. It's a boomerang. That's what people call karma. It's not karma. It's simply your thoughts reflecting. My ex's mum broke us up. I have no problem affirming my ex is still in love with me, but it's the, well, you have a fucking story about the ex's mum hating you, so darling, until you get rid of that story, he'll never come back. Get rid of that fucking story. She didn't break you up. You had a story that she hates you. You held on to that story so much that then that happened. And now you're blaming her, but you're not understanding that you had a story that she didn't like you the whole time, and therefore that happened. Get rid of that fucking story. Is it normal to feel like SP is coming? Yes, guys, that's great. That's living in the end. I'm currently affirming contact from SP, but to live from the end, can I imagine being married already? Yes, guys. Say they're constantly calling, texting me. They need to be with me every day. And then just be like, we're so blissfully happily married. Of course I see them every day. You can affirm both, guys. But sometimes marriage can seem clunky because you haven't spoken for a while. It might seem hard to imagine the end of being married. So imagine the contact first, then the marriage as soon as, when you start feeling like that's happening. Or that's natural in your mind, okay? It is good to let go if you can. Well, I don't believe in letting go, darling. Can you manifest being already healed from the breakup without looking at what caused it? Can you manifest being already healed from the breakup without looking at what caused it? Look, guys, you can do that if you really want to. You can just say, I'm healed from the breakup. Nothing affects me anymore to do with that breakup. We are blissfully together. If you can do that, go ahead. But the problem with that is when you don't identify what the fuck you were thinking before the breakup, then when they come back, good luck with that. Because that's when you get triggered by the shit they were doing before that was caused by your shitty thoughts. And then you do it again and then they leave. And then you're coming to me saying, oh my God, they've left me. And I say, yes, did you change the old story? Did you get rid of that? Oh no, I just imagined they were back. Yes, but you had to figure out why you broke up in the first place. Otherwise they'll leave again. Got it? I reacted yesterday on third party and I've been crying since. Well, darling, revise it. Imagine you didn't do that. Or imagine that they don't care, they acted crazy, they love that. That means that you love them. And they love you anyway, regardless of what you did or said. How can I manifest that someone famous is thinking about me 24/7 but knows who I am? Just imagine you and them together. Imagine a scenario where he knows you, he's introducing you to his friends, whatever. Just imagine you know each other, guys. Can you manifest for clearer skin? I love my clear skin. My complexion is perfection. I never have problem skin anymore. Everyone's commenting on my beautiful clear skin. So that, darling. Part 1, Loz, on Friday at my father's funeral. Oh, darling. Mandy, I had a real special moment with my brother. Oh, wonderful, darling. Where's the rest of this? I remember you saying about the funeral. If we live in the end, we don't have to worry about contact. It will come natural, Loz. And we must affirm, yes, guys, don't worry about the contact if you're living in the end. Unless you want to do the contact affirmation, it's up to you. We're not close at all, but had each other. None of my father's family knew we even existed. Oh, Mandy. So you were close regardless just because of that day. That's wonderful, darling. Gives that all good meaning that now you get a relationship with your brother because of that funeral, because of what's happened, because of that circumstance. Fuck those family members who didn't know you existed. Fuck them. Give all this good meaning, darling, that now you get a relationship with your brother. Wonderful, darling. What if we haven't had contact 4 years? What if? Circumstances don't matter. I've got someone back after 6 years of no contact. Don't worry about it. It's not a problem. If you see it as a problem, it will be a problem. Hello from Australia. Well, hello from Perth. What's this? Part 3. We stood at his coffin, and just hugged each other and cried. Oh, Mandy. That's some real closure I think you needed there. Wonderful, darling. How do I manifest being noticed by a BTS member during their concert? Just imagine them staring at you. Imagine them throwing their t-shirt at you. Imagine telling your friend, oh my God, he just stared at me. Oh my God, he just called my name. He just called me up on stage or whatever. Imagine a scene where that happens. Is it better to affirm in little steps for an SP or a full thing? Look, I believe in the full thing. That's called living in the end. That's what Neville taught. But if you want to affirm for steps as well, absolutely do that too. Hello from Melbourne. Oh! Can I imagine being married to SP in my mind, but affirming contact? Yes, darling. The how doesn't matter. Circumstances don't matter. Just affirm. Yes, mellow milk. You've got it. Right, guys, when this wine's done, I'm off. Oh my God, thank you. Okay, good. Is revision necessary, or is just understanding the cause enough? You're the cause. Guys, revision isn't necessary, but it's a great thing to do if you can do it. You're even revising just with your affirmations. If you're changing your thoughts about you, then everything in your reality will change. If you didn't think you were lovable and now you're saying I'm lovable, you're revising yourself. So you're kind of doing revision anyway with affirmations. Can I just show you my dog because it's so funny? Look at this. Molly, what are you doing? Hello. I had a dream that my manifestation came true. Is that a sign? Yes, guys. Give it good meaning. Give it excellent meaning. I would love to see the behind the scenes of how our SPs react to our affirming. What it is, guys, it goes into their mind and they start thinking the thoughts you're sending out. I'm thinking about her all the time. I'm masturbating furiously about her every night. What's wrong with me? I can't get her out of my head. Stuff like that. And I can't understand why. They just don't know why they're thinking it, but they are. Because it goes into their mind, guys, and they don't understand that it's not their thoughts. But it becomes their thought, so it is their thought. So if you try and say to someone that you manifested them back later on, they'll say, no, it was my decision. And it is their decision because it goes in their mind and becomes their thinking. Stop, your dog is so cute. Can I say I'm married to my SP and live in the end visualization my wedding day? Yes, do that, darling. Morning, Loz. Oh, hipster. How do I... Hang on. Has anyone come on those glasses? What? No, Mike. I take them off, darling. I don't have sex with glasses on. That'd be a bit funny. My thoughts are spiraling. How to control it? Stop that, darling. Stop. Stop spiraling. Is it possible to have another SP? Yes, darling, have two if you want. I had two once. Well, I didn't want the other one, but he came back and I didn't want them both there, but one was still there and the new one was there and I had to decide. Oh, hi, Sandy Kane. Thanks for the roses. I manifested a job paying $35 in a week when I only received of one with $29. Oh, you went up from 29 to 35. Wonderful, darling. I manifested you saying hi and you did. Oh. Haha, Lodge, you're my favourite. Oh, thanks, Adriana. Do you have to not waver for it to manifest? Well, it's best if you don't waver. But look, guys, you will. You can't be living in the end in your mind all goddamn day, living in the state all goddamn day. It's almost impossible. So that's why Neville says get back on the beam. You know, like if you do gymnastics and the girls on a, you know, they're doing the beam and they're walking along and they fall off. You've got to get back on. When they're in the Olympics and they fall off, they don't just fall off the beam and go, oh, well, I give up. You know, if you're Simone Biles and you fall off the beam and you're doing your beam routine, you're doing a backflip and you fall off, you don't just fucking walk off and go, oh, well, fuck the Olympics. Okay, although I know she gave up on the Olympics this year, but I'm just saying, stay on the beam. If you fall off the beam, you jump back on. You fall off, you jump back on. I used to hate the beam when I was a kid because I had terrible balance and I hated gymnastics and I hated the fucking beam. That was the thing I hated the most because I was so bad at it. You've got to get back on the beam. The gymnastics instructor will yell at you, get back on. And you're like, oh, fuck. And you climb back on there again. You've got to get back on, guys. Don't let it throw you. If you spiral, don't worry. Can I let myself have a bad day or will that derail my manifestation? Just what I said, get back on the beam. Don't worry about the bad day. Don't worry about derailing you. If you think it will derail you, it will. If someone says, I'm not enough about themselves, is that your thought about them or you? That's you thinking that they've got bad self-esteem, they don't feel good enough, they've got issues, they've got low self-esteem about how much they earn, their body, their position, they think you're better than them. Whatever your thoughts are about them, they will reflect back. So it's your thoughts about them, not their thoughts about themselves. Brilliant. Love the beam idea. Yes. What are some good affirmations for a corporate job that I want? Can you manifest one regardless of grade? Yes, guys, just imagine you've got the job. Don't even imagine they care about your grade, your pay grade, your qualifications. They don't even care. They just give you the job anyway. The amount of jobs I've got where I have not had any experience. I remember I got a job as a PA to the head of the Olympic Village in the 2020, whatever it was. What was the Olympics? 20 whatever Olympics in London. And I'd never been a PA in my life. And I got there the first day. I did not know how to use Outlook. Not Outlook, what's it called? With all the calendar and everything. They had no clue, not a clue. I just imagined I was his PA. I got the job because he took a shining to me and I manifested it. And then I got in there and I was like, no, fuck what I was doing. Never been a PA in my life. Don't just imagine you work there. I was like, I really want to work at the Olympics. I want to get cheap tickets to the Olympics. I want to go to the opening ceremony of the Olympics. And my brother and I went to the opening ceremony rehearsal for free. It was so cool. How much can you manifest at once? As much as you like, darling, but don't have too much because it will just overwhelm your subconscious. Maybe 5 things like car, house, job, SP. Saying affirmations feels like trying to me. How can I change that? Because you're not understanding, it's just thinking. You're just changing your thinking. You're seeing it as a job, a chore, a thing to do. That's why. Stop thinking of it that way. What are you currently thinking? Change that thinking. That's what affirming is. If you're seeing it as something to do, you're doing it wrong. Should we give our SPs? What's this? Thank you, that helps. Okay, good, Ashley. Should I feel bad manifesting my ex to break up with his girlfriend, starting to work? No, darling, never feel bad about it. It's your reality. You get what the fuck you want. Any tips on changing your subconscious? Change your negative thoughts, darling. Change them, flip them every time you have them. Thanks for helping, Loz. Really had a breakthrough today. Oh, Dad's excellent. Like Richard Branson says, say yes and figure it out later. Yes, I do that. I have a friend of mine who's now doing really well in his acting career. He auditioned for a film in India, a Bollywood film, and he had to speak Spanish and Hindi. He didn't speak either of those languages. And when they asked him if he did, he said yes. He got the role and he had to work out how to speak Spanish and Hindi for this movie. He lied. Actors do it all the time. Can you horse ride? Oh, yes. And you've never ridden a horse in your life. Can you skateboard? Oh, I skateboard every weekend. Get out the skateboard straight away. Oh, shit. Actors do it all the time. That made me laugh. Good. Should I feel bad manifesting my ex? No. Manifesting is so much fun if you understand it all. Thanks to Loz. Yay, Nautica! Thanks, Loz. What are some good affirmations for the corporate job? I love my corporate job. I love putting on a suit every day. I love working at this office. I love taking my lunch break down at the Pret-a-Manger and getting my sandwich and my drink and going back up to the office. I love working in an office. I love having a secretary. I love my PA, whatever the corporate job would imply. I love sitting in a boardroom all day. Any tips on changing your subconscious? I did that. Hang on. That's a big question, darling. That's what I teach. You've got to go to the Facebook group and watch all the lives back. Go and watch number 25, number 41. Okay, if it's about an SP or if it's just about general subconscious stuff, go and watch anything to do with self-concept. That's what changing your subconscious is. Okay, it's changing your current thinking to new thinking or anything about affirming. Go and watch all the lives in the Facebook group. Loz is literally the best on this platform. Oh, Sasha. Guys, please go and follow. So I am Sasha Officials. See this girl here with the beautiful girl with the red hair. She's got gorgeous red hair. She's so stunning. Please go and watch her lives and her videos. She does a couple of videos a day. She's a very new account, but she's one of the few people on here who knows what she's talking about law of assumption. There is I am Sasha Official. There is mterry11 or 111, although she doesn't post a lot at the moment. There is Manifesting with Kimberly, and there's Kimberly's, Manifest Fast with Kimberly's, and also Lifestyle Manifesting. And her name's Shannon. They're the only accounts I would watch on here. And also there's a guy called Simple Manifesting, which I watched his live today. It was very good. I've not been seeing enough of his content, but he does know what he's talking about. Watch all those accounts, guys. Thank you, Sasha, darling. Loz and Sasha are the best. Yes, she's brilliant. Yes, I agree. Was binge watching Loz, and you saved me, Loz. Oh, darling. Thanks, Nautica. How often What's this question? Should we affirm the same thing? Well, guys, look, the repetition is what causes it to become a belief in your mind. Okay, think about how long you've thought the shit you already think about you. That's what caused it to become a belief about I'm not good enough, I'm not wanted, he doesn't love me, I'm fat, my thighs are fat, I never get any money, things never work out for me. How long have you been thinking that shit? A long time. That's why you've got to repeat it, guys. You can't just think a thought once and it suddenly sinks in. It won't. It's a repetition that's key. That's why Donald Trump used to repeat himself. That's why Hitler used to repeat himself. They're not stupid. They were doing it on purpose. The key is repetition to get people to form a belief. If you say, let's make America great again. Let's make it great again. It's going to be great. It's going to be the greatest. Eventually people go, let's make America great. And they'll wear fucking stupid hats and walk around saying what you said. He wasn't stupid. Loz, what if you're acting confident / beautiful in the 3D but don't believe it in your head? Does it matter? No, guys, act as if you already fucking want, like LOA teaches you to do, and act like you're beautiful, and then you'll believe it eventually. You can do it that way if you want. Do it in the 3D. No, I take that back. That doesn't really work. You can try it, darling, but your brain will always win. That's why that LOA stuff doesn't work. You can try that if you want, but your brain will always override you. So it will have the argument that when you're trying to dress up and act beautiful and be beautiful in the 3D, it will tell you you're not beautiful. So just what I said then isn't true. That's why LOA doesn't work. Acting as if doesn't work. Because if you don't believe you're beautiful in your mind and you don't tell yourself you're beautiful in your mind, you can act beautiful all you like in the 3D, but if you have a belief that you're not beautiful inside, that's why people like supermodels will unalive themselves and famous people will unalive themselves, and people will say, why did they do that? They had the world at their feet. Everyone loved them. They were so good looking. They were so loved. They were so famous. But their mind was saying, you're a piece of shit. No one loves you. This is all fake. No one really knows you. If they really saw you, they'd hate you, Amy Winehouse. Heath Ledger, you need these drugs to keep alive because you can't cope with life. Marilyn Monroe, your mother rejected you. Everyone else doesn't love you because she didn't love you. Right? Think about all those famous people who died young. Their belief, didn't matter how outwardly beautiful they were, how outwardly famous they were, their subconscious ran them and they died. Their subconscious ran them and they were depressed. Got it? What you do out here doesn't matter. It's what's happening in here. That makes sense? Books you'd recommend that align with what you teach. Anything by Neville Goddard. Go and get the Neville Goddard Reader or any of his free lectures on YouTube. Oh, YouTube. You can listen to his lectures on YouTube. You can also read his free lectures. Just put in Neville Goddard lectures. Okay? And they're free. Selena Gomez says it is a speech of hers. Selena Gomez says that in a speech of hers. Oh, that she didn't believe in herself. That she was, yes, I saw that speech. Because she was being great for everyone and famous for everyone, but she didn't love herself inside. She didn't believe. I saw that. It was really sad, wasn't it? And that's why Hailey ended up with Justin, not her, because she didn't feel lovable. She didn't feel like he would love her. That's why he ended up with someone else. In my reality, Heath Ledger isn't dead. 10 Things I Hate About You is my comfort movie, yeah. I have a friend who was good friends with him. She talks about him all the time. So is the goal to change our behaviour, which then starts attracting SP because we're behaving different? No, the goal is to change your thinking, which changes your behaviour, and then you act different. And then they act different towards you. But your thinking is key, not your behaviour. This is not changing behaviour. That's what LOA teaches. Putting on a wedding dress and walking down the street bridesmaid style won't help you. Your behaviour won't help you. Because what you're thinking about the behaviour matters. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to get so fit and healthy, but your brain's going, you're a piece of shit. You're always going to be fat. This doesn't work. Everyone's still going to hate you even if you're buff. I know a lot of people who are very, very fit and healthy, and they go to the gym all day, and they do it from a place of complete self-hatred because they don't feel good enough in themselves. I have a lot of ex-boyfriends who were gym junkies, and they weren't doing it from a place of loving themselves. They were doing it from a place of, I feel too short. My body isn't enough. I'm not enough. Outwardly, they look really confident. Deep down, they didn't love themselves. You're doing it with us just like Trump. Am I repeating things? Well, the thing about Donald Trump is, guys, his family were under the tutelage of a pastor called Norman Vincent Peale, and he wrote The Power of Positive Thinking, the book The Power of Positive Thinking. And he used to tell everyone in his congregation to only say positive things about themselves and their life and what was happening. So if you listen to Donald Trump, everything he says is positive. The world could have been falling about around him and he would say, it's great, it's going to be the greatest. He was doing what no one taught him, what his family learned. And he lived by that. He can be losing an election and he'll say, I won it. I won, but I won. He doesn't want to take the negative at all. He doesn't believe the negative. He won't believe it. No contact affirmations. They're constantly calling and texting me. They need to hear my voice. They can't be without me. All those things, darling. But imagine you're together in your mind. That's the most important thing. What's the book called? The Power of Positive Thinking. Norman Vincent Peale. I think I have that in England. I think I left it there. One of my many books that I left in England I should have brought with me. How do you learn to love yourself? It's not necessary, but it's good if you can. But I want you to change your concept of yourself. That's slightly different than loving yourself. You can say you love yourself all you like, but your concept could be relationships never work out for me. You could love yourself all you like, but you could think others don't love you. There's a difference, okay? So the key is changing your concept of who you think you are in the world. I am lovable. People love me, not just I love myself. Got it? I'm going for Ricky Bobby for Talladega Night self-concept. I'm going for a Ricky Bobby Talladega Night self-concept. Have I seen that movie? I don't think I have, but I know who you're talking about. I have recorded affirmation and slept with them last night and couldn't get any sleep. I need advice. Oh, look, guys, it takes a long time when you're listening to those things. I've only just in the last couple of weeks been able to sleep through my affirmations, nightly affirmations. It took me weeks of listening to the fucking things. I would throw my pillow over my phone. I would turn it off in the middle of the night. I would wake up and get nightmares. All kinds of things. Just keep going. It's your brain fighting you. The first night is nothing. You wait till you've done it for a few weeks. If they're your self-concept affirmations, you'll fucking hate them. I mean, I don't want to manifest that, but it can be a bit of a slog. Don't worry about it. Opinions on sleep affirmations, what I'm just saying. Sometimes they've got to be your key self-concept stuff. It can't just be Dylan James. It's got to be very, very, very key to your shit. Listen to Dylan saying, I'm chosen, I'm wanted, or just shit. Okay? I like Dylan Jones, but they're very general. I woke up and caught the live again. Yay, darling! Can't you listen to the affirmations on low volume? Yes, I did, but I still would turn them off. My brain really didn't like it. There was one that I had that was me saying my affirmations, my really key ones, and I started crying towards the end, and that one, I hated that one because it was so emotional, and my subconscious clearly did not like listening to it. Because I was so emotional saying these affirmations that were really key to my shit, and every time I had that playing, it would not like it. I could play Dylan James and sleep right through like a baby because that Dylan shit didn't affect me in the slightest because it wasn't about me. It has to be about you guys. Love when I catch your lives, Ground Rising. Oh, Ground Rising, thank you, darling. How do you put your recordings on loop for sleep? So, guys, when you go to your voice memos, okay, there's my voice memos, and I record them in there, okay? Then I go to VLC. You see this little icon here? VLC. It's an app that's free on the App Store in your iPhone. And then when you save the audios, it'll go in here, and it will have all the recordings. And what you do is you press this, like Rampage. Hang on, stop. If I go on here and I press it, there's this little button here, and you press that. Oh, hang on. And it says loop. See this button here? Loop. And that will loop whatever you save file from voice memos into VLC. It will loop it all night. That's amazing. And it's free, guys. It's just on the iPhone. App Store. Please check, and yes, Vivarelli on YouTube. Yes, I don't like her. I like her meditations, but her manifestation videos are fucking hella confusing because she confuses in LOA and bloody Abraham Hicks and a whole lot of shit. Dylan pretends to be perfect. That's why I don't like him. Look, Dylan's whole thing is confidence, and I get that. And when I first watched him, he grated on my nerves because of that. I'm in a great state of being, and I don't need to affirm all day, and it gave me the fucking shits. Because I felt like saying, well, dude, what about your followers? They're not at that level yet, and they feel like pieces of shit when you're saying that. That really bothered me about him. Now I understand what he's doing. He's doing it from a place of be as confident as me. So I get that, but it doesn't help you because you feel bad when you listen to him sometimes. Like, he's so perfect, why can't I be like Dylan? Why can't I just affirm at night and listen to night affirmations? he has negative thoughts. You know, he never has any negative thoughts. I'm not like that. That's why I don't agree with him saying don't affirm during the day. I think that's the worst advice any manifestation teacher's ever given to anyone ever. Because he thinks he's perfect. He doesn't have to do it. Well, maybe you do. What's that app called? VLC. Sorry, where was the button we clicked before looping? So what you do is you save it to files from your voice memos. You go into your voice memo. You press. Katie lived together intentions. This is some intentions from like Katie from Thingamajiggy. You press that there and it goes save to file. Save to file. See that? You press that and it says VLC because when you've linked VLC, it'll go VLC and then you save it there. Then you go to VLC and you press that name of that little recording and you press the loop button. You press the ... and then the very top icon's like a loop and loop it. Dylan has completely changed my life. Look, I think his manifestation teachings are excellent. But I just don't like it when he says only affirm at night. I think that's bullshit for a lot of people. What do you think about Sammy Ingram? She's excellent. Are there any manifestation scripts that you would recommend? I would write your own, darling, and write down what it is you feel you want in your life. Write it as a story, as a conversation. I don't have any set scripts, guys. It could be the vows that you and your SP say to each other. It could be a description of your new home. It could be a story that you write. An apology someone gives you. Loz, you should start a YouTube channel. I promise I'm going to. It's called Subconscious Loz. I've set it up. I've just got everything on private. He's good for hype up, like he has his funny moments, but not really interested in his teachings. Yeah, look, he might be an acquired taste, Dylan. And look, you've got to find people that work for you. Like Sammy Ingram grates on people's nerves sometimes because she's quite bad bitch and blah, blah, blah. Well, I really like her. Well, some people might watch her and not like her. You know, some people probably watch me and go, who's this bitch swearing? I can't stand her. And they don't like me. So you just got to find who works for you guys. I'm not saying not watch him. I'm just saying don't affirm during the day is not the greatest advice. Sammy Ingram has never had a relationship issue in her life. I can't relate to her. Yeah, that's the thing with Sammy. The problem with Sammy is a lot of people came to and I'm not bagging her out, but a lot of people came to me from her coaching because they realised that she was not concentrating enough in the email coaching about their self-concept, because her self-concept is excellent, except about her body and except about snakes and people betraying her. She's got two weird things going on there. Apart from that, her relationship is great. So she kind of can't relate in a way about self-concept shit because her self-concept's really on point. That's why she's so confident in her videos. Dylan's self-concept's on point. Mine is kind of all over the place sometimes, and that's why I think you guys can probably relate to me sometimes, because I'm not acting like I'm some kind of Yoda, that my self-concept's so great and you should be like me. And I'm not saying Sammy does that, but Dylan just sometimes feels that way, and people don't, that grates on their nerves. But the thing is with Sammy, she's great on the teachings of Neville, and the teachings of how no free will and everything work. It's just that, yes, her self-concept stuff, she doesn't concentrate on that as much because her self-concept's so good. Why I'm feeling like, what's this? It's already mine, and I know, but I see no movement. It's all right, darling, it's delayed. If you feel it's already yours, great. Sit back and enjoy the show. Just wait for it to turn up. Okay? It's delayed, darling. Don't get despondent or impatient. Mark says that sleep affirmations shouldn't be with our own voice because the mind resists the own voice. Who the fuck's Mark? Mark. Yes, you will resist your own voice. Hello? That's what you're meant to be listening to. Who's this Mark person? I don't know who that is, darling. But listen, I will do abandonment specific ones and rejection specific ones, and I'm not good enough specific ones on my YouTube channel, so you can listen to me if you really don't like listening to your voice. But they need to be real specific, guys. It can't be master manifester. It's not enough. I only watch you manifesting with Kimberly and who's Aisha? Aisha? Who's at Aisha? I've never heard of this person. Is that on TikTok or YouTube, darling? I rewrite my days in my diary, but add that SP was there throughout the day. Helps me live in the end. That's great, darling. Love that. Do the manifestation script need to be at a certain beat per minute? What the fuck are you talking about, darling? I'm talking about a script. Look. See this? You're talking about affirmations. I'm talking scripting is writing in a journal. Writing. That's scripting. Okay? You're talking about Affirmations. Nothing has to be a beat per minute. I don't believe in any of this hurts bullshit. But look, if you want to do it at a beat per minute, binaural beats, go ahead. If it helps you, go ahead. You're talking about affirmations, darling. Oh, who's this fuckwit? Someone needs to be reported. Any tips for suffering intense pain? Well, stop saying you're suffering in intense pain. I never suffer. My body is pain-free. My body knows how to renew itself. My cells renew themselves daily. I feel so comfortable. I feel so well in myself. I've never felt so good. So those things. How to manifest seeing him on his birthday that's in 3 weeks. Imagine seeing him on his birthday. Imagine giving him a gift and him saying thank you or hanging out or the next morning and talking about it. Okay? Shelley Bullard is great. Yes, she's great, but she talks a lot of LOA feeling stuff. She's very good on feminine energy. I would listen to her very much on feminine energy. Some of the manifesting stuff, she veers a little bit to LOA feeling stuff for my liking, but if you like her, watch her. What's going on here? Why are there all these fuckwits spamming the chat? I've already blocked you. Why are you showing up again? How can these people all be showing up when I've blocked you? Okay. God, wow, there's a heap of them. Someone is really spamming my chat. All right, guys, I'm going to go because someone's being a spammer and I can't see any more questions. How do you deal with an SP not treating you with respect? I work on my self-concept. Okay, you have a belief that I treat you with respect and they'll continue to turn up the way until you change the story about them, and you've got to work on your self-concept, but change the story about them not respecting you, darling. God, who is this fuckwit coming in here? And I'm reporting this person as well. Let's report. Report. You're being reported, whoever you are, fuckwit. Karen, whoever. Whoever this person is being a Karen. Dangerous organisations. Hate speech. Spam. Let's press spam. Submit. Thanks for reporting. God, there are a million of them. All right, guys. I really need to get a mod, don't I? I've got fuckwits like this coming in. Guys, please do follow me if you don't follow me already. I go live twice daily. You'll also get a notification in the Facebook group Subconscious Laws that I'm going live. Come and join us there. We're doing a new challenge tomorrow, the Fuck the 3D challenge. And we're finishing up our revision challenge, and you can put questions in the Q&A forum and watch these live back. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Yeah, report those spammers, guys, so they don't come back on the next live. All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me. This is a really long live. I've been here for ages. Love you lots. Bye.